So beautiful. Oh, so stunning. That's a really cool find. Look at these. This is a mushroom. But it's really dried out. Do you want it? Look how beautiful this edition of The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck is. I actually squealed when I found this. It's never been opened and it still has a little Reader's Digest booklet in. Oh, I'm so excited. And it was only £2. Are you kidding me? I also picked up Northwoods because this has been on my TBR for ages, and look how stunning that cover is, £1.50. Also read my first ever John Fowles at the beginning of the year, and I've been wanting to read more by him, so I picked up The French Lieutenant's Woman, another beautiful edition, £2. And finally I picked up a Margaret Atwood, The Robber Bride, which just sounds absolutely fascinating, and it was £1.50. I said I wasn't going to buy any more books because I want to get my physical TBR down, but I accidentally stumbled into the secondhand bookshop today and I just couldn't turn down particularly these two. I can't read my knitting instructions because Bones is sat right where I need it. These are the last 6 Snail bag charms for a little while. I'm going to retire the Snail design just so I can maybe work on a different design or just something else entirely. So these are the last ones. I think these 4 are the ones that have sold. So we have this one which I really like. This is the back. This one. I love this collection of buttons so much. This one is one of my favourites. It's got like a bright red back. And then these are the 2 that are still available. Both have a brown backing. This vintage brown fabric. So this is the button collection on this one. And on this one, I need to order more of the little brass clasps because I am out, but I think I have enough to ship the ones that have sold, or at least 3 of them. I do have so much fun making these, but it is definitely time to move on to something new. These 2 are going together, and I only have 1 more of these, so I can only wrap 1 more. I'm about to start working on another Seagull design, very similar to this design I did earlier on in the year. Was it last year? I'm not sure, but a full body version of this design. And I drew it on the frame, but I projected on the bird and the font and then drew the kind of shape on afterwards, and now I've got all of this kind of weird space. So I think I'm going to start tufting the seagull and then come back and do bigger font and maybe kind of move it over into this corner a little bit because it just looks a bit odd. Could move the A up here, the gull a little bit further down but bigger. These 2 are okay, maybe separate, have a bit more space in between them. But yeah, I'm going to start on the bird today anyway, just because I can't be bothered to get the projector out again. And then I've just put some pigeons on with some excess space. I probably should do a few more up here, but I wasn't sure how big that this piece was going to be yet. These are all of my seagull colours because I want to avoid using white. I've just gone for a selection of creams. Some with different textures. We've just got like some plain Aran, those 2 slightly different shades. It's like a really chunky cream wool. I think that's the lightest we've got. Got this like super fluffy mohair which is really thin, so I'd have to use something like this and then a couple of strands of that as well for bits when I want loads of texture. I've got this that I got from a charity shop, I think in one of my other vlogs. It's like an oatmeal kind of colour. And this is something percent mohair, I can't quite see. 33% mohair, which is quite nice. I have this. There's another kind of oatmeal colour. And then some cream boucle. And then I would really love to be able to use some of this. It's a really beautiful silk Aran, viscose silk and linen, and just look at those colours. So the base colour is oatmeal and then it's got flecks of blue, orange, red. It's just stunning. I'm not sure how much of that I'll get away with using because of these flecks, but we could possibly get a little bit in there. So this should work for our seagull. Obviously they do have some other colours in there, grey, dark grey, a bit of red and the beak colour, etc. But this is a really good base kind of selection, so we can get lots of different texture and different shades in there as well. So I don't have any suitable seagull photos in my own collection, so this is the reference picture, although I did change the head to be slightly more side profile because this is quite a front facing seagull. So we're going to try and get our guy as close to this as possible. And of course we're going to be using the trusty manual tufting tool. So this section here is all grey, but there's a couple of like flecks of white. So I'm going to mark where they are now. So we can put them in before all of the grey. This part here is white, or cream should I say. And then some little kind of bits here. I think that's pretty good. And then we just put white, and then white, white, white. Yeah. I'm going to do 1 strand of the chunky and then 2 of the fluffy, I think. Okay. Let's have a quick look. Oh, super plush and squishy. I don't know if I want a little bit more of that mohair texture though. So maybe a couple more strands. So I've got the cream, 2 of that, and 2 white. I am slowly making progress on my shell tee. I'll put a picture up so you can see what the finished piece will look like. But this is the back. We have a sleeve, and then this really beautiful ruching detail all along the back. And I think I've got a couple more rows to do on the sleeves, and then I'm going to bind them off. And then I think I can pick up stitches at the front. But progress is really very slow because I am using teeny tiny 4.5mm needles, so it is very time consuming, but I'm really pleased with how it's looking so far. The pattern is definitely more advanced than anything that I've ever done before. I'm definitely a beginner knitter, although quite an ambitious one. I've been working from a printed out pattern just because it's a little bit easier for me to visualize things and I can take notes on it. And then I've also been taking extra notes in my little tiny notebook, which I keep in the front pocket of my knitting bag. It literally fits perfectly. Yeah, I've been doing lots of knitting math just to make sure I've been getting things right, because I really don't want to have to frog any of this because it's just taking such a long time. But yes, I am so very excited to see this once it is done. This is the yarn I've been using, Yarn and Colours, and this is in the shade Oatmeal.
Look at that face.
Look at his teeth.